Today's episode is brought to you by SeatGeek, the presenting sponsor of the Bill Simmons podcast and our Channel 33 podcast, as well as our favorite app for buying and selling tickets for sports and music. Go to SeatGeek.com/BS to learn how to buy and sell on SeatGeek, and don't forget to download the free SeatGeek app. Enter promo code BS, and SeatGeek will send you $20 once you've made your first purchase. Today's episode is also brought to you by Simply Safe Home Security. They worked with me to put together a massive security arsenal for our listeners. Everything you need to stop criminals from breaking into your apartment or house. Unfortunately, they couldn't stop me from betting on Washington yesterday. No contracts, no commitments, and right now you can get 10% off a special post-holiday package from Simply Safe. Guarantee yourself complete protection for your home. Go to simplysafebill.com. Save 10% on your first order. I wish they could save my voice. All right, let's start.
Yeah. Clear enough for you? All right.
Yeah, my son was sick. Are your kids sick, Sal?
Yeah.
It's just going around like a sniffle cold?
Every 6 through 9 year old has something. Right?
Yeah. And I knew my wife and my daughter went to New York, and it was just me and my son for 4 days. I knew he was going to get me sick.
Really?
So I'm going to, at about the halfway point of this podcast, I'm going to sound like Harvey Firestein.
Nice.
Or John Lovitz is Harvey Firestein. I just want to be loved. Is that so wrong? Shout out to Jacko. That was his imitation.
It happened.
Congrats. You went 3-0 on SportsCenter.
3-0. I picked the teaser because I didn't like the Packers-Redskins game much at all. So I just threw the Packers on the teaser. But yeah, we should have won more money. We won a little money this week.
Or we should have won less money.
You think so?
Well, the only two games we liked were the Chiefs and Bengals. The Bengals had one of the all-time ludicrous playoff covers. I was happy to be on the right side of something for once. But the other two, the cold weather, who the hell knows?
Right.
Why we didn't go under is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. We teased it with Seattle, but we did win it, though.
We won that one, yeah.
But you just watch. It's so freaking cold. The ball's a rock. They're throwing deep balls. They're just dying like they've been shot.
Right.
And then Green Bay, Washington, who the hell knew?
Well, we knew. I mean, the narrative all year is the AFC South sucks and the NFC East sucks. So why don't we just bet accordingly? Why don't we just go with that, right?
Yeah, and also the better quarterback against the worst quarterback is usually a good way to go.
There were, like you said, 2 screwy endings, but the better quarterback won all 4.
I thought I've seen an inordinate amount of Packer games this season just because it always seems like they're the late game with nobody going against them, or they're a night game. Mm-hmm. I mean, they haven't shown any inclination of playing like that for 3 months other than the one Minnesota game. And even that game, Minnesota stunk more than Green Bay was good. And I did not see that performance coming.
And what kick-started it, in your estimation?
I don't know.
For me, it was Rodgers calling the quick snap while 350-pound defensive tackles ran off. And he got him, the 12 men on the field call. Like, that was like, oh my God, wow, look at Rodgers, look what he's doing. And then you put Randall Cobb's in the backfield like that. It's not even like the Rams play where Tavon Austin's in on a reverse. He's actually in the backfield taking pitches, and somehow Devontae Adams remembered how to catch, and it all came together within like 20 minutes.
It did feel like when Deshaun Jackson screwed up the touchdown, which was just.
The
just
podcast
horrible.
is official. Bill's phone has rung.
I thought I turned both of them off. Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
It was weird because I think the announcers like, normally he's so good around the goal line. This is the guy who fumbled on the 1 yard line on a long touchdown when he was holding the ball up and just spiked it before he got to the goal line.
The goal line.
Yeah. But it was so weird that he didn't just reach out with his left hand. And when he didn't, it's like, well, 1st and goal to go from like the half inch. And it's like, they'll screw this up. And they did.
Incomplete.
To get the safety, they collapsed the line. Mm-hmm. They would have been up 9-0. And I think Green Bay, because the safety was 2-0. The Deshaun Jackson, if he reaches over, it's 9-0.
Right.
Instead, it was 5-0.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
But I just felt like Green Bay, it was one of those teams that was going to go either way in that game. And if Washington had gotten some momentum, I think Green Bay would have fallen apart. Instead, it went the other way.
Yeah.
But that's not what we shouldn't be leading with that game. We should be leading with 2 of the worst playoff losses I've ever seen in my life.
Cincinnati and Minnesota. Now, I was going to ask you, which fan base do you feel worse for? Which fans do you feel
Minnesota.
Worse for? I feel worse for the Minnesota fans that were at the game, but I think I feel worse overall for the Cincinnati fan base.
No, because, all right, well, this is a good argument. Minnesota, I had them in 2010. I wrote a piece about the most tortured NFL fan bases, and I ranked them second.
Okay.
And
Cleveland first?
I think I had Buffalo first.
Oh,
Buffalo did lose 4 straight Super Bowls.
Right.
So here's what I wrote
Totally
about.
forgot about that.
So in the tortured fan bases, I had these qualifications. Need a 35-year drought or more without a title. You have to have your guts wrenched a few times during that run. Cold weather cities get ranked higher in this just because it's so depressing. And when your team, and this would happen when I lived in Boston, you don't really have it as much here because in LA you wake up, it's like 55 degrees the next day. When you have your guts ripped out and then you wake up the next day and you're scraping ice off your car and it's 3 degrees, like that's just worse. Like you just shoot me.
Can't compare it to anything.
You have to be pessimistic enough to keep your guard up for the sucker punch, but just optimistic enough to lower your guard at the worst possible time.
You're like a poet. You really are.
I wrote this 5-6 years ago. And then outsiders need to instinctively empathize during a level 1 torture takedown. So here's what I wrote for the Vikings. They lost 4 Super Bowls in 8 years. I wrote this in 2010. Every 10 years or so, they ripped the intestines out of their fans. 1975, Hail Mary against Dallas. 1988, the Darren Nelson game. 1998, Gary Anderson kick. The 2009, the Brett Favre, 12 men on the field, that whole game. That was one of the horrible losses of last decade.
And now
2016.
Okay.
So this is like a stopwatch every 7 to 10 years.
Yeah.
They're just going to rip it out. And yesterday, I swear to God, the people I watched the game with can vouch for this. They show that hash mark and it's like, oh, it's going to be a chippy. And it was just out there like, yeah, it's Minnesota. You got to be careful. You just don't know. Were you even thinking he'd miss it?
I thought he'd make it for sure. Because we had Seattle.
The Vikings baggage didn't tie in at all?
No, he was so golden, and Seahawks were so stupid down the stretch that I thought this is it. The Vikings are going to win, and that's going to be that.
And Cam Chancellor would have been the go to the game.
I guess so. Although I still don't see where the penalty was.
That was a double terrible call. One, it wasn't the pass interference. It was you could do the 5-yard contact penalty, but but that was like Gronkowski's gotten called for offensive pass interference on that exact play 10 times.
Right.
But I just thought, first of all, he ices his kicker.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about that. Mike Zimmer.
That's true. I guess
iced his own kicker. You know what? It's -7. I want to give my kicker 3 more minutes to think about kicking this lead ball with the expectations of my entire fan base. Let's do it. Let's take 3 more minutes to think about this.
It's such a chip shot, though. It really is. And the laces towards him didn't matter. Like anyone you talk to says the physics of it doesn't really matter at that point. You're kicking. You needed to go straight for 27 yards.
It did seem very far left when they had the camera behind him. It was so close. It was like, there was this 5-second thing where you're like, oh my God, that's, but
never a chance.
Peterson screwed up the play before because he cut it back to the left.
But what would they have done if they got a first down there? That's still the last play, isn't it?
I guess.
Just keep running?
How about this idea? Just keep the ball in the middle of the field so your kicker's
I see what you're saying. Yeah, it was a little left there, yeah.
I thought they outplayed him 50 of the 60 minutes.
Well, that's the problem. That's the difference between the Bengals and the Vikings. That was the Vikings game. I mean, you had 4 games.
Played better.
4 games where it was double digits to nothing. Although Vikings were 9-0, but the other games were,
I thought Seattle sucked in that game.
They were bad. They looked like they did against the Rams 2 weeks ago. Like, oh yeah, this is it, and they can't.
We talked about a couple weeks ago. We said how the Vikings were a better version of that Rams team.
Yep, we did.
And it was basically this: that their defense was outrageous. It was so good.
I didn't think Seattle would be scoreless through 3 quarters.
They basically got one pull it out of their ass play. That Wilson, it's like the defense stops for a second, Lockett breaks a couple tackles.
I watched it a bunch of times, and I think only Russell Wilson pulls that off. I mean, he's on his knee with the ball, and he's got a split-second decision. And the smart one most of the time is just stay on your knee with the ball there and take it down. But he got up and found the open receiver. And besides that and the missed field goal, they don't advance. And now they're one of the most dangerous teams. And also the Baldwin catch. We touched on it briefly.
The one-hander?
My God. I mean,
that was amazing.
That catch isn't made 15 years ago in 70-degree weather in San Diego, let alone -3.
That's true.
You could talk about your record books and everything else. Like, these gloves are like NBA players don't have trampoline shoes. Like that's what it would be the equivalent of. These catches are being made. I think I saw the greatest catch I ever saw with Martavis
Beckham?
Bryant, but
that
but
was
I'm not even
amazing.
sure anymore with that. Yeah, and Beckham too. I don't know what's great anymore.
I can't imagine a worse feeling than walking out of that game after sitting there for 5 hours in -6. Although they were saying it wasn't that windy. I think when it's windy, that's when it just rips through your soul and takes years off your life.
Right.
But it still could not have been a fun experience.
So
and
bad.
then to have that kick, you're ready to cheer.
Yeah.
You're thinking about, we just got to kick it away from Tyler Lockett. And that was a horrible loss. And I just feel terrible for the Minnesota fans.
The one thing we saw that I've not seen before was the armbar on Peterson that caused the mugging and the eventual fumble that Cam Chancellor jumped on. I think it was KJ Wright.
Like a UFC
Yeah, he
move?
really armbarred him. Like, okay, there you go. You have one arm to protect, and let's get 3 guys pounding on you and see if you can hold on to it.
That was another game where we always are reminded of this in the playoffs, that the star running back, it's very easy to take out the star running back.
Yeah.
Just is. But, we talked about the game on Monday, and then House and I made our picks on Friday. I thought Marshawn Lynch was playing.
Right, yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's not playing. I still like Cincy to win, but the 5 seemed really high, and it never moved, the 5 points.
Cincy.
I mean, I'm sorry, Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how that didn't go to 7. Like, anyone outside of the Mall of America had Seattle in that game. I was so scared.
Nobody had Minnesota.
Nobody had them. How did that line not go up? But it worked perfectly. Vegas wins and Seattle advanced.
So how would you rank Buffalo, Cleveland, Minnesota for most tortured, most traumatized?
I still throw Cleveland at the top there. Although I will say this, Cincinnati.
I'm just saying pure football. You can't include any other sports.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Pure football. Just I'm a fan of that football team who's most traumatized. I still think Buffalo's
I went to school by Buffalo. I relate to. I went to college by there, so I relate to those fans.
The 4 Super Bowls was like something else.
Yeah, it's awful.
It was like especially by the 4th one, they know they're going to get just annihilated.
I watched the 30 for 30 with my son, my 10-year-old son, about the Bills' 4 Super Bowls, and he was stunned and sad. He's like,
Right.
he's like, I don't believe this, Dad. It was 4 straight years. Like, yeah.
The Norwood kick is the worst single defeat moment that's happened, other than maybe the Tyree catch. But even the Tyree catch, we felt like we could still stop him. We had hope. That was just like, oh, my guts have been ripped out. I would rank it Buffalo. Oh, man, Minnesota versus Cleveland is tough. I don't even know.
Second.
I'd say Minnesota now, just because
Really?
it seems like Cleveland's had a couple, but they've just kind of been bad for the last 15 years. They haven't had any gut wrenchers.
I mean,
Minnesota
if you
really should have won the Super Bowl that Brett Favre year. Like, they had that game. They were over the 40.
Yeah.
It was right there. The Anderson in 98.
Oh,
that team
they
was
would
the
have played
best team
Denver.
that year.
I think they would have won that year.
Yeah. And then this one, it hurts a little less just because I think they would have lost to Arizona this week. I don't think you could say, oh man, that was a Super Bowl team.
Maybe.
But it would have been a great win.
Maybe. Cleveland,
Cincinnati,
I mean, is it a hard gut wrench? Like if you hire a different coach every 16 months, I guess that's.
You've never had a good quarterback.
Different. Yeah.
Losing your team is brutal too.
Yeah, that's
tough, man. That's definitely the top 3.
But congratulations, they're no longer the most pathetic NFL team in even Ohio. I mean, Cincinnati really just stole that from them. Discuss that game.
Yeah. So,
oh my God.
At least with that game, I thought Pittsburgh did more to win it than Seattle did.
Yeah.
Like the Roethlisberger drive at the end, he's got a broken shoulder or whatever he has, separated shoulder.
Ridiculous.
And clearly can't throw more than 5-6 yards. Mm-hmm. And yet, since he's playing way off him, and they're completely stunned by the draw plays and the short passing, it's like, this guy cannot throw the football. What are you guys doing? Mm-hmm. I thought it was a coaching catastrophe. I didn't care. The Jeremy Hill fumble, Pittsburgh had 3 timeouts left.
Yeah.
If you get a first down, the game's over. You can't just kneel it there because Pittsburgh's going to get back. I didn't have a problem with it. He was
6 yards on that play.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe cover up with 2 hands, but they just hit so hard. You don't know what to expect there.
Yeah, that one, I don't blame him for that, but I blame Cincy's defense for not being closer to the receivers with Roethlisberger when he couldn't throw.
Right.
And then
I blame Hugh Jackson, who's now going to benefit from a head coaching position for that offensive game plan. They were down 15-0 going into the fourth quarter. You have to know what you're doing here. Short passes.
I say this all the time. We always talk about this, but when you have like an AJ McCarron type quarterback and you have an AJ Green type receiver, like throw it downfield once every 7 times. Just chuck it.
Right.
Because 2 times you're going to make a play. Like that team had no point or what was it? They had no, what was it? When did they finally score?
It's 15-0 going into the
4th, right?
Was it? Oh, yeah, I'm not sure.
Whatever
Maybe
it
they
was,
scored
but,
a late third. I don't know.
The Burfict penalty. I was watching the game and I have witnesses for this. We were joking about gambling lines, and I said, "Who's going to give me odds that Burfict's going to do a dumb penalty that extends this drive?"
Wow.
Said that out loud because he was like,
yeah, since he scored all their points in
he
the
was
fourth quarter.
He was like a caged maniac after the Shazier hit.
Right.
He was literally like losing his mind. And then to run into the tunnel after the interception was one of the dumbest, weirdest, craziest things I've ever seen.
It was a fumble recovery.
Yeah, the fumble recovery. What are you doing?
I think was that the greatest moment in sports history? So they called him down by contact there.
Yeah.
But he didn't know he was down by contact. He got up and just ran.
Yeah.
So if they call him, if he's not down by contact, if that's a safety. If he runs back, that's a Jim Marshall play. That's the greatest play in NFL history.
Oh, the Jim Marshall safety.
Yeah, if he runs backward the wrong way, that would be terrific.
What was the play when I think that was that game. God, all those games blend together. They're going for the 2-point, and they throw it. It actually was kind of a backwards pass, and Pittsburgh could have scooped it up and just gone down, and they would have actually scored because they changed that rule. It would have been a Pittsburgh defensive 2-point to take the lead.
Exactly, yeah.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
The Burfict penalty was just horrible because you're on the 50. The Pittsburgh has no timeouts left, and their quarterback can't throw the ball, and they have to get to, I would say, the 25 with that kicker. But then the Pac-Man Jones, I'm in the why is Joey Porter on the field camp. Yeah. This guy has this huge history. Rob Weintraub on Football Outsiders he's a Bengals fan, did a good job of summarizing all the Bengals Steelers bully stuff. The Steelers have been like the bully to the Bengals for decades. And Joey Porter and his crew jumped Levi Jones, who was a Bengals lineman, in a Vegas casino, and it's on YouTube. There's video of it.
Oh, right. Yes.
In 2007,
I remember hearing it.
Jumps him. It's a 4-on-1 fight. Joey Porter and his friends against Levi Brown.
Yeah.
That's the guy who's on the field. Not allegedly saying anything, but he has this whole crazy history with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe that wasn't a double penalty. How does that only go on Pac-Man Jones?
I don't blame the referees here. I think they were undermanned. I mean, you have an assistant coach. You have Mike Munchak pulling Reggie Nelson's hair on the sideline. There's too much to look at. You don't need, not even just the players, and not even at the end of the play. Now there's coaches on the field, and like with Antonio Brown being down, there are some coaches who are allowed to be on the field. So what are they going to card the guy? Like, I don't know how you tell the difference between every 50-something guy with a headset. Like,
right.
They were thrown into Fallujah, these referees, and there's only a few of them. And
Pittsburgh got a free pass in that game because everyone's like, "Oh, the Bengals out of control." It's like, the Pittsburgh was instigating a lot of that stuff. The Munchak play, DeCastro's blocking Burfict 10 minutes after the play ended, and
Shazier could have gotten called for the
Shazier
Bernard play. Yeah,
can we make that a penalty next year?
I don't see.
If you're leading with your head and you knock a guy out like that, even if it's like whatever, it should be like a 5-yard penalty, first down for the team that gets the guy with the knocked out guy.
Right.
Maybe a team.
I'm all for that, man. I
thought Pittsburgh was just as chippy though.
And I actually like this game aside from the Burfict penalty and everything.
It's a great game.
I love it. It's AFC North. It's kind of separate from everything else. It's going to be chippy, and you should understand it. But Burfict's he's got to come clean. He's got to have to say, I realize that was a bad play. He can't really play in this league unless he acknowledges that that's illegal.
He's not on that team next year.
Either way, he can't be on
trade him.
Any team. Like that. That's no good. We're going to lose this sport. Like the gladiators, the Romans loved gladiator, the sport, right? And they took it. They must have thought, "Oh, this is going to go around forever, right? Look how much everybody loves it." No, it's going to go away, whether the concussion movie is effective or not.
Well, I'll tell you a couple things I loved about that game that didn't get enough attention. Sims was at his all-time best. talking about switching the chairs around. What was his analogy?
Yeah, right. What did he say? I forget. He said, "I'm talking about."
He said the tables have switched.
Oh yeah. The
That
tables
was great.
have switched.
We lost a minute of audio. It was Phil Simms' best announcing job in 10 years. And Jim Nantz was so traumatized and upset.
He was afraid
by the game and couldn't even get excited down the stretch. He was so disappointed in both teams. I was saying it was like
I think they would have let him leave if he asked to. He's like,
guys, I need a minute.
Yeah.
I'm choked up. I was saying it was like the Bizarro Butler cabin. You know how happy he is in the Butler cabin with Billy Payne and those guys after the Masters? He's got the jacket. He's just beaming. He looks like he's going to have an orgasm on himself. That was like the opposite of the Butler cabin for Jim Nantz.
Right.
He was just
Get me out of here.
It's too violent. I'm really disappointed in the fans. Somebody threw a water bottle at Ben Roethlisberger as he's being carried out the field. People are like, what a disgrace. That's disgusting. It's like, it's football. You got 80,000 people and half of them have been drinking since 2 o'clock.
Right.
Oh, I can't believe somebody threw a bottle.
Didn't Howard Cosell like he wrote off boxing after the Randall Tex Cobb fight?
That might have been Jim Nantz.
Is it Nantz?
Jim Nantz might just be like, you know what, guys? Football is too violent for me. I just want to do golf, tennis, and women's basketball.
Right.
But
let me just say, I think the most underrated unit in sports, Steelers offensive line, run blocking. 167 yards between that Todman and Fitzgerald Toussaint. Guys you've never heard of.
I thought both of those guys were pretty good.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons we like the Bengals. We were like, these Pittsburgh's on their fifth running back. Is it just we have 10 good punters, 11 good field goal kickers, 9 good quarterbacks, and 185 good running backs?
Maybe. That might be it. Because why is DeAngelo
and why don't
Williams
the Patriots
great?
have any of them?
Yeah.
There's 185 good running backs, and the Patriots don't have one of them. We have to sign Steven Jackson.
Here are the big name running backs in the AFC bracket.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
Ware.
Yeah.
Niall Davis.
Yeah.
Spencer Ware, Niall Davis.
But don't forget West. Charkandrick West.
Yeah, what am I thinking? Yeah. Hillman on the Broncos.
Yeah.
You're Steven Jackson.
C.J. Anderson,
Toussaint, and Todman.
You left out James White and the one Brandon Bolden carried for -2 yards.
That'll happen. I thought he was
Saturday.
inactive. Okay.
Hey, I forgot to mention one thing about Blair Walsh. Mm-hmm. Other than that, his coach did ice him. Literally and figuratively, he was iced because it was freezing. Mm-hmm. He was the MVP of that game.
Sure.
He had 3 field goals. One of them was long. One of them was like a little bit too long, and he made it anyway.
Right.
And his kickoffs were incredible.
Yeah,
he was booting the shit out of the ball in the end zone, and it took Lockett out of the game. Basically, Lockett did nothing. And if he made that field goal, he's the MVP of that game.
Good point. And Pete Carroll, another poor coaching decision, although that works out. Well, this one worked out. 4th and 14, he passes up a field goal. Was it shorter than the one Hauschka ended up kicking to make it 10-9? What's going on in that game? 4th and 14.
What about these teams that complain that they didn't have the headset?
Right.
What do you do all week during practice? Your team is just completely.
Oh yeah.
It's like the SNL teleprompter skit with David Allen Greer, the morning show, when the teleprompter breaks and it just turns into Lord of the Flies. It's like, really, you can't just say, "Hey guy, we're gonna run left on this one on 2.
Yeah.
Ready, break.
Yeah.
Hey Doug, do run an out pattern. Really, the headset's that important?
It's a convenient excuse. Yeah.
It really does seem like it. We should mention Brian Hoyer quickly. That game was over in 11 seconds. It was 7-0 Chiefs with the 14:49 minute mark of the first quarter. I felt like it was over. Brian Hoyer, though, pulled off a full Delhomme. I was really proud of him.
That was nice.
4 picks and a fumble. He had 3 picks and a fumble. He just had just a Delhomme. Needed the 4th pick for the full Delhomme and got
it off.
The full Delhomme. It was great.
And it's a home game. Why don't they announce it there? They should stop the game for a minute and say the full Delhomme.
Full Delhomme has just happened.
Yeah.
How does Brandon Weeden not come into that game at halftime, though?
I thought the drive before halftime, then I thought, okay, the drive right after the failed drive in the third quarter. Like, yeah, I don't think he brings them back because I don't think you're giving the Chiefs enough credit. And I see why you're not, because you're a little nervous this week.
Not nervous.
Really?
No.
Well,
Bill O'Brien, underrated, horrendous coaching job, because not only did he not pull Hoyer when it was clear Hoyer was just broken, but we find out J.J. Watt's been battling this groin injury for 7-8 weeks, right?
Put him in the backfield.
Then he gets hurt again. First and goal, puts him in like he's Jim Brown in 1960. It's like, is he hurt or not?
Right.
If he's hurt, why is he in there with a pulled groin trying to run the ball? Like,
You're
this
down
is
2
ridiculous.
scores.
You're down 2 scores.
You're not up 38-7 in the Super Bowl. This isn't Refrigerator Perry moment.
Yeah, you're on the 1 yard line.
Right. Everyone knows he's getting it.
That was ridiculous.
I also, though, think they were just happy to be there. They were outclassed. But let me ask you this. I've been going at it with Twitter jerks.
Don't look. Oh, stop it.
No, it's good. It keeps
Don't
me
look at
going.
them.
Well, I'm like, the Texans, a Hard Knocks curse lives on. And they're like, how'd your Cowboys do? I'm like, I don't know. What's worse, not making the playoffs or making and getting shut out at home in the opening round? I think it's the same.
Especially like AFC South is the only reason you made it because you're in the worst.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
The worst. Tell them to settle down.
Okay.
Hey, before we talk about the Super Bowl odds, I want to give a shout out to MeUndies.com, the home of great fitting underwear that happens to be 2 times softer than cotton. You don't just want your underwear comfy, Sal. You want the world's most comfortable underwear. That's a crucial difference, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You don't want your underwear comfy. You want the world's most comfy underwear. And that's MeUndies. Look at this. I'm wearing it right now. These are the French jogger.
These are the
Terry
long pants.
French Terry jogger pants. I'm sorry. Yeah. These are, I wear these all the time. My wife has named them Tom.
Really?
Because she claims that I never washed them, and now they've formed the ability to speak.
Oh, I see.
Like, hey, Carrie, how are you?
I think she's having an affair with a man named Tom.
Maybe that's what.
Yeah, and then when you catch her, you're like, would I name your MeUndies Tom if I was having an affair with Tom?
Every pair of MeUndies is made of micro-modal fabric, which doesn't sound sexy. But once you feel your MeUndies, you'll never go back to regular old underwear again. They launched a new line of boxers that I can't talk about because they haven't mailed me any yet.
Oh, I see.
Apparently, they're going to make me beg.
Good point.
Go to MeUndies.com/BS. Get 20% off your first order of the world's most comfortable underwear. You get free shipping in North America and a money-back guarantee. If you don't like your first pair, don't worry. You won't use it. MeUndies.com/BS. Okay. Ranking the playoff teams.
Down to 8.
You can tell me. These are my rankings. If you disagree, disagree.
Okay.
I have Green Bay 8th. I think they're the worst team left. I'm not. They didn't throw me off their scent by playing well for 3 quarters against a Redskins defense that just died.
Yeah, I guess they have to be.
So their odds have dropped from 35-1 to 16-1. Seems logical.
Right.
Number 7, I got Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I was almost going to say they could be 8th too.
Just because Roethlisberger's hurt. But then again, it's like, by the way, how about when he goes off with the separated shoulder and he comes back? And I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I don't know what happens in a locker room when they check on a shoulder.
Right.
I'm guessing there might have been pain medicine involved. Maybe.
I don't think so.
Possibly.
No. Yeah.
You don't think so?
You don't think he just threw?
He comes back in.
On
it's
it?
pouring rain. They show him on the sidelines, and he's just staring out in the field vacantly.
Right.
And he doesn't have his jacket on. And then somebody came over and they put a jacket on. And it was like he didn't even realize somebody was touching him. And Mays said he looked like, I was watching with Robert Mays, formerly of Grantland. He said that he looked like John Travolta in the Pulp Fiction scene after he'd done heroin, when he's just driving in the car and he's looking at the sky and it's like everything's in slow motion.
Right.
Lord knows what happened in that locker room, but it's just funny. Like,
and then he sits out a series. He watches.
So they shot him up. They had to have shot him up, right? I'm guessing.
But he was on the sideline, so he just
they
needed
fix
that
the
much
separated
time.
shoulder. They pop it back in.
He needed time to.
They shoot something in.
But
then
he was
whatever.
watching his team lose, and then he's like, "All right, it's coming back in."
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, Tom, I want to come back in." He's like, "No, I'm Mike. I'm Mike Tomlin.
Tom,
I want to come back in."
those are Bill's underwear. You're talking about Tom. That's different.
We
Tom.
could beat Cleveland. I swear to God. No, we're playing Cincinnati. So anyway, they dropped from 7-1 last week. They win.
Right.
And now they're 12-1.
12-1.
Not a good sign. Plus, Antonio Brown got knocked out, but they're claiming he's fine, and he's passed the concussion protocol.
Right.
I'm sure he's passed it with flying colors.
Everyone will play.
Yeah, he was down for 5 minutes face down, but he's fine. Denver, I have number 6. Only because
What is this ranking? This is in terms of how surprised you'd be if they'd win the Super Bowl, or how just to
just
advance?
value of the odds.
Okay, what are the odds?
Right now they're plus 550.
Oh, yeah, that's low for them. Yeah,
Seems low.
I don't know what to expect from them this
They're
week.
favored this week. Next week, they'd play probably the Pats at home. That'll just be
Couple
low.
points.
It'll be low. And then they'll be underdogs in the Super Bowl. Plus
Right.
550 doesn't seem logical to me. KC, we were on this last week. KC was 24-1 last week.
Right.
We all thought that was too high. Now it's plus 850.
Wow.
Yeah. That was the best bet last week.
So they beat a team that they were
They
like
knew
3.5 point favorite over.
Yeah.
They were supposed to win, but not destroy. And so they look so good. And then,
But now the odds aren't good because they're going to be like plus 250 or plus 300 in New England.
right, yeah.
And then they're going to be underdogs next week, and then they'll be underdogs in the Super
Take
Bowl.
them every week
Yeah,
instead
but
of this.
the week to do it was 24-1.
Right.
Seattle is plus 550. I don't like those odds either. They were plus 600 last week. And
Do you just get the feeling they're going to be in the NFC Championship?
they got to win in Carolina,
Right.
in Arizona, and then they got to win the Super Bowl. So even if you parlayed those three
Right.
games, that doesn't
The
add
numbers
up
don't
to plus
match up.
550.
Yeah.
New England's plus 450. That gets a little more interesting. Because, oh no, I'm sorry, they're plus 400. Because that dropped a little from plus 450 because they win this week, probably 3-point underdogs next week in Denver. Unless Denver loses to Pittsburgh, then they'd be like 8-point favorites.
Right. So 4-1's about right.
4-1's about right.
But the thing is, you're going to have people just betting them to win the Super Bowl, them and Seattle. So you probably just take them game by game also.
Carolina's plus 500. That has not moved. And then Arizona has dropped. They did nothing. Just sat all week. It's dropped from plus 450 to plus 350.
People are betting Arizona heavily then, I guess.
Maybe they listen to our podcast and listen to our
Yeah.
Arizona Pats bet that we have.
They're going to the Super Bowl.
Plus 700. Anything else I missed?
Wait, did you miss a team? You got every team there?
Yeah.
No, I guess we could do the lines now.
Let's do the lines.
Did you? So you had a nice viewing experience. We watched. It was at Corolla's, and you've seen the Revenant.
Yeah.
All right. This is gonna be a little spoiler for Revenant. People who haven't seen it who want to see it, but
No, don't spoil the Revenant.
well, it's one scene. It's one.
Can we do it right at the end?
Yeah,
Hold the story till the tail end of the pod.
it's just one scene with the bear. Everyone knows. It's not
the
even
bear.
it's
People
not
know
even with
about the bear.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. We'll come back to it.
You want to come back to it?
I don't know. There's one scene with DiCaprio where the villain says if you blink. We can't say
no.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
wait.
All right, I'll tell you off. Anyway,
see
we spent 4 hours on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Golden Globes last night?
Yeah.
Did you watch?
Yeah. I caught little in between. Is Denzel done with the speech?
Denzel.
The people just get so bombed they lose. You mentioned
Denzel's speech was the equivalent of if I threw you a 60th birthday party
Yeah.
14 years from now, but it was a surprise.
right.
You had no idea it was coming. You've had a few drinks. Then like, Sal, go up and say a couple words.
Yeah.
All right, I'll say, hey, guys, thanks for the party. Here's my family. One of our sons isn't here. I can't remember why. Why is...
Right.
It was one of those. He knew he was getting the Lifetime Achievement Award.
You're wearing a suit. Yeah.
You knew weeks and weeks ahead of time.
Your table with
Prepare
celebrities.
anything, Denzel.
Right.
It was great. It was the best.
Pretty good.
I loved Matt Damon's reaction to the Ricky Gervais was especially mean yesterday to the
Awesome.
point that you liked it.
Oh yeah. Come on.
It's so uncomfortable.
Who cares?
He introduces Damon by being the only person Ben Affleck has been able to stay faithful to. Here he is, Matt Damon, or whatever he said. And Matt Damon just kind of walks out with that dumb look on his
Can't
face.
say anything. Jennifer Lawrence had an incredible show-stopping necklace. We're going to talk about that.
Great necklace. I liked A Shoe, made me laugh.
That was funny. Yeah.
Is the Jonah Hill bear thing over yet, or
Oh yeah, that went
Still
that went
going?
for a while. Yeah.
oh wait, he's in the driveway. He's still going, still pushing that one.
Yeah. I just think it really is the best award show. They get so hammered. These people. You could tell even the
It's
ones that have
fantastic.
prepared speeches are a little out of it. They're
It's
like
fantastic.
Roethlisberger coming back from the locker room.
Yeah, it's true. I liked like all award shows, they don't time it right, and they get to the end, and they're just rushing through everything. And it's like the Leo moment should have been like 5 minutes. They're like, hey, Leo, get off the stage. We got to wrap this up. But Jonah Hill was on for 3 times longer.
Right.
That was hilarious. My favorite part of the whole night was Sly Stallone forgetting to thank any of the black people.
Oh, yeah, right.
Just left them all out.
And he was overheard
he felt
at the
bad.
table.
He's just old. It wasn't Sly's fault, but it's like you maybe want to. He mentioned 27 agents and 17 producers. Hey, what about Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan?
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe want to mention those guys for reinvigorating the Rocky franchise.
He mentioned his imaginary friend, which there's concussions in movie making now. You can now, if he's thanking his imaginary friend Rocky Balboa.
It was rough. I actually felt really bad for Coogler and BJ because.
Well, when he wins the
mentioned by
Oscar,
Sly.
When he wins the Oscar, he'll be all over him. They'll be the first ones.
What a moment! He's like, I'd like to thank my 6th wife for giving me the love.
Yeah,
And my kids, whatever set of kids these are. This is great.
Yeah,
thanks to them. It's a great award show. I almost wish it was on a night that didn't have so many other things going on.
Right. Well, but it was the first. It's the first night without a Sunday night game. And it's before Game of Thrones and all that. And
Also, I was excited. The Martian was hilarious. I mean, it was great to see it.
What is that? Was it a musical or a comedy? How does it fall in that?
What was funnier,
category?
The Martian or The Tourist? If you had to guess, The Tourist had some good laughs, good belly chuckles.
Yeah,
that got nominated last year. Yeah, The Tourist.
Yeah,
the Golden Globes. If you research it, it's just. It seems like it's just a bunch of foreign journalists that live in LA that get to vote on who's who.
And it's not that many of them either.
You can actually, can we bet on the Golden Globes? Because when I watch it, I know every category. Like, it's like, oh, of course the Revenant's going to win. Right. It's got Spanish director and all the stuff.
I'll find something. Next year I'm going to find it.
It's just like, yeah, we should find that. It was like, of course the Martian's going to win because Ridley Scott's 1,000,000 years old and they're going to credit him. And
I don't know
really
why
like The Martian.
I don't like that they take out the swearing. Like NBC just butchered. Like I could see 1 word, 2 words, but they'll do like 3 lines at a time. They'll just be like silence. Like, oh, come on.
I thought The Room should have won the Oscar because when I told you what the plot of the movie was, you thought we were doing one of our fake bits.
I got a few of those that people said this is definitely a fake Simmons Sal show.
Here's another one. This one is a real show, and people don't realize it.
What was it?
It's called The Shipment. Have you seen it?
No.
It's on Crackle.
Oh, really?
Get Crackle?
Okay, yeah, I know Crackle.
It's Sports Jeopardy. It's Maya Rudolph. Remember Maya Rudolph from SNL? She's married to Omar Epps. He's a quarterback. He's in his late 30s. His body's breaking down. And he wants to start doing HGH, kind of prolong his career.
Oh.
Ships it to his wife because it's, he doesn't want his name attached to it.
Is this based on a true story?
No. Oh, it's not at all. They developed this 3 years ago. So she's getting the HGH. She's on the road. He's with the football team. She gets a little taste. Let me try this. Starts taking it. Puts on 40 pounds of muscle. Becomes a bodybuilder.
I like it.
Becomes a competitive bodybuilder. The Shipment. and the great thing is, it's an amazing transformation by Maya Rudolph. She literally puts on the 40 pounds of muscle. You won't even recognize her.
Really?
She's huge. Yeah, she's competing. It's great. The Shipment on Crackle.
I have to see that.
Yeah, you got to check that out. It's 8 episodes. You'll binge watch it.
I would watch The Shipment first, but there's another one coming out.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, there is.
What's that?
And because there's no Sunday night game, maybe you want to watch it after Pittsburgh Denver.
That'll be good.
Remember Bronson Pinchot?
Bronson Pinchot?
Pinchot, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, and now he goes by Bronson Pinchot.
Okay.
Because he's trying to revitalize his career.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's he's with Vantazi Perfect. And
Vantazi Perfect and Bronson Pinchot.
Yeah, they live together, and Vantazi he just beats the shit out of him. He just
him.
Well, he can't take the accent. He doesn't like it, and he beats him up. And it streams on at the Shell station. Yeah, you know at the gas station where they have little videos on the
little video, yeah.
Right, yeah. That's the only place you could see it. So you have to watch all the episodes there.
So it's like a little 6-episode show.
Yeah, it's called Perfect Strangers. Yeah. He really just kicks him around like a dog. He hates him. Uh-oh. You catch it at the Shell station.
It must made me choke. Perfect.
It's good. It's going to be good. Watch it with The Shipment.
The 76 gas stations are thinking of picking it up,
they
too.
might
It's
pick
right
it up.
now. It's just at the show.
The people huddled around the pumps.
All right, round 2.
Let's do
We
it.
have 4 home favorites.
Yes.
4 of our 8 quarterbacks were number 1 overall picks.
Oh,
Not
wow.
counting Tom Brady.
Look at that.
Teams that won 8 of the last 14 Super Bowls still alive. It's a round where the entire league has been called out by future President Donald Trump.
Right.
He said everybody's soft.
I saw that.
He hates the fact that the Bengals-Steelers game that people reacted the way they did.
Yeah.
He misses the days when men were men and
Of course
football
he
is
does.
football.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how the players react to that when the president calls you out like that.
He runs beauty pageants. He thinks the NFL's soft. I love it.
Pats KC is the first game. I don't know if I like that.
Saturday, 4:35 Eastern.
KC's won 11 straight.
Mm-hmm.
They have 47 sacks, 22 picks this year.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Maclin, probably about, 60%, you think? It's going to hurt them.
I could see him playing, but being limited.
Yeah, it's almost better for the Pats if he plays and he's not good. They have not won in New England since 1990.
Right.
Kansas City Chiefs. Not that that totally matters, but 0-5 since 1990. All the Patriots are going to be back, it looks like. All the key ones that we were missing. Edelman, Amendola, Hightower, Sebastian Vollmer. I picked the Patriots by 6 points.
In 3 of the 4 games, we had exactly the same number, and this is one of them. Wait, what'd you say, 4?
No, 6.
6, right. I said 6, you said 6. It's 5.5. You would like that to be higher. And you would have liked to have gotten the first seed. Let's admit it. All this genius maybe laying down.
Well,
against
I would have rather
Jets and
played
Dolphins.
I'd rather play Pittsburgh with Ben Roethlisberger's separated shoulder
Sure.
and Antonio Brown coming off a concussion.
Right.
Not that I don't mean to be mean about that, but they're really banged up.
Sure.
And they just had a super duper physical game. The 2 teams that I'm interested in this week, from just the residue of last week's standpoint, Pittsburgh, because that was such a physical game, and then just Seattle coming off that really physical cold weather game,
Right.
and then having to play a week later.
Yeah.
I don't know. I worry about them physically. I just can't imagine those guys feel good in the morning.
Yeah,
imagine
I don't
the
worry
Max
about
Cut,
I don't care about him as much.
the Marcellus Wiley story about, he would talk about how hard football is on your body. He would say,
Right.
he couldn't get out of bed the next day, and you'd have to put a bottle next to his bed to pee in it because it would hurt too much to walk to the bathroom.
Yeah. Right.
So compound that with the -6, and then Seattle's got to ratchet it back up. I don't know.
All right. Well, you
like the Chiefs. You're going to pick the Chiefs on SportsCenter. I can feel it.
I don't know. I think this is all right. I think you have Andy Reid in the back of your head. You we can't lose our first home playoff game to Andy Reid. Nothing else really matters. I think that's your.
There's a playoff upset recipe here for the Chiefs against this Patriots team, right? You shorten the game.
Yeah.
The Chiefs do a lot of 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, these long drives, and it always seems like you're going to stop them, and then all of a sudden they get 5 yards again. And then a big pass rush that can disrupt us potentially with the offensive line we have.
Yeah.
And the tight end's going to be a problem, Kelsey.
Kelsey's tough to tough to handle.
If Hightower's 100%, then and Collins, then I'll feel better about that.
This could be close. This is not your 44-7 opening round at home Patriots win.
The only thing I'd say is I think the Patriots threw people off their scent a little the last 2 months. I think people forget when they have Amendola and Edelman going across the field and Gronk running over the middle versus being used as a decoy for the last couple months.
Right.
It's a really good offense.
Well, it's all that offensive line. If it truly is back, then you're in good shape, I think.
Well, that's the part I'm worried about because I don't know the answer to that. I don't love the 4:35 Saturday. It just feels weird.
You rather have the night game or one of the Sunday games?
Or a Sunday. I don't know. The Saturday 4:30. Who plays NFL at Saturday at 4:30?
Well, you played the Ravens in that close game where you were down by 2 touchdowns twice and won. Was it an overtime or you won 38-35 or something? Saturday.
That was one of Brady's greatest games.
That was a Shakey's game. You missed our Shakey's banquet this week.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
I was on Mr. Mom duty.
Here's the highlight. Brad gets the trophy within 6 minutes, pours orange soda on the base of the trophy.
Accidentally or?
Yeah, accidentally. Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's not.
did he stain
This
it?
is not NASCAR where we're drinking the milk. Yeah, it's stained. It's a mess already. He's
Oh, my
had it for
God.
10 minutes. Yeah.
What's the over-under of pieces that trophy's going to be in
We're
when
never
we get
going to
it back
see
next
it.
year?
I
Like
don't know. We
5?
can't tell you. But the Mook was there. Paul Cohorst is there.
Big feud because Brad voted out Paul Cohorst twice in 3 years.
Paul voted Brad.
Or, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Paul voted out Brad twice in 3 years.
So now the fun of this is you get your trophy, you make everyone sweat it out until September, and then at the draft you kick someone out. Brad gets there and he's like, "You're out. You're done, Mook. You're done. 21 months. That's the next time we'll see you. 21 months from now. 21. Can you live with that? 21 months." Like, all right. There's like 3 kids' birthday parties going on in Shakey's. Kids are looking around. It's really weird. And yeah, I kind of felt bad for the Mook a little bit.
Well, then again, don't vote out Brad twice in 3 years,
Right,
baby.
exactly.
You don't want to.
I was like, bro, you could have fun with this. You could have him show up at the draft and pretend maybe someone else is getting kicked out, and Paul could be covered in molasses and then kick him out. You know, he's like, nope, he's out. I'm telling him right now, he's done.
You don't start a land war with Vietnam in the 1950s.
You're right.
It's just a bad idea.
You're right.
You're going to lose a land war.
That was it.
He started a land war with Brad. It's never going to end well.
Brad he's sitting on his chair, and you know everything's very abrupt with him. So for some reason he pushes away from the table, and like I said, there was kids' birthday parties going on, and he crushes a kid behind him. The kid goes flying in a chair, and 2 chairs fall, and now everyone's looking. And Brad, I'm like, I'm not even gonna deal with this. The kid's father is right behind, and and then like a few minutes later, I said, "Brad, what happened?" He's like, "Nothing. I looked at the kid who was about to cry, and I gave him the look, and he knew after that look that he shouldn't cry." And I said to the father, "Man, he's all right. He's all right." And that was it. It's like, great.
Didn't say Brad doesn't have any kids.
He's not gonna have kids.
Yeah.
Keep them away.
Well, this line I think drops to 4 by game time.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think people are going to talk themselves. Just if you look at the 4 games, the Chiefs and the Seahawks are the 2 teams the 2 road teams that everyone's going to talk themselves into this week. I just want to remind everybody that this is Bill Belichick against Andy Reid.
I know. I wonder
And I also
how
like
much.
to remind everybody that this is Tom Brady versus Alex Smith. Just throwing those 2 things
All
out
right.
there for everybody.
Andy Reid came within a field goal of beating you in the Super Bowl, right?
No,
No.
we're up 10.
Oh, all right.
They got a cheap touchdown at the end of the game. We won by 7, I think.
Oh, you did? Okay. It was one.
Kate, did we win by 7
No,
or
you won
10?
all those field
Eagles
goals
Super
by
Bowl.
3.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you won
but
all
got-
those by 3.
Did you ever think Philly was going to win that game when you were watching it, ever, at any point?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I wasn't exactly sweating out in the stands.
It was 7, 35-28.
Are you sure?
No, I think it was.
No, they won. No, they
it was
lost by 3.
24-21.
Yeah. Come on, Tate. All right.
That was the weirdest Super Bowl I've ever been to because all the Eagles fans quit on that were all in the stadium. It was like half Eagles fans,
Right.
and they all quit on the Eagles in like the second quarter. They were like, this is. They were just
Where was that
angry.
game?
It was in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville,
That was
yeah.
the worst Super Bowl I've ever
Right.
been to.
Green Bay at Arizona, Saturday night. This is fun.
How happy was who has the Saturday night game? Is it NBC?
I think so.
How happy are they that it's Rodgers instead of
Cousins.
Vikings
Oh no, it would have been Vikings.
or Washington, whatever?
No, you're right. No, it would have been Vikings.
No, it would have been Washington.
Well, it depends if they.
Green Bay Washington was going to Arizona. Yeah, it would have been Kirk
Oh
Cousins.
yeah, you're right. Okay. No, wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, because the 6th seed was
Seattle's
Seattle.
the 6. They go to 1. Right. You got it. Right.
I have
all the stats were going to be thrown during the week, and Kirk Cousins 72% at home, even higher at home, 72% otherwise. I read Cousins 26 starts. He's not beaten a team with a winning record. That would have been nice to know.
You don't like that?
That would have been nice to know. No, but it's like everyone to convince us to bet the Redskins. You know.
The only thing I'll say about your division theory, which was just we should have gone against the AFC South, NFC East, like no brainer. Mm-hmm. There's been years where that theory's been in play, and then the teams won in round 1, like the Seahawks Saints year. Remember the Seahawks? They were like 8-8,
Right.
7-9.
Right. Well, I like to see the results of the game and then come up with a theory. So yeah, I'm
I
Monday
didn't
morning.
realize we're doing that. I have the Cardinals by 8.
Okay, so this is the only game we differed on. We had, like I said, we had 3 exactly the same. You're going to pull this out. I said Cardinals by 4. I didn't think Vegas respected them. It's 7. It's a full 7.
Who are we teasing the Cardinals with?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
38-8. They won December 27th. they beat this Green Bay team.
Pats Cardinals tease.
Really?
I don't know who's killing us on that one.
All right.
We had
Green Bay left tackle is questionable. David Bakhtiari.
We had the Chiefs straight up.
Mm-hmm.
We had a smaller Chiefs skins parlay, or at least I did. But then we teased the under with the Seahawks that somehow
Same
won.
game. Yeah.
I've never felt worse about winning a bet. I felt so bad for
It was nice
Wash.
though that you didn't have to worry about one leg of that teaser at all. Like we knew like halfway through the first quarter, like got the under. That's nice.
Yeah,
rooting for the Seahawks rest of the way.
Everyone's really cold.
Yeah.
And then so Pats will, I think, be at like 4.5 on
All
Friday.
right. Well, there's other games you might like better in the tease zone,
I don't think so.
namely Alabama tonight. All right, Sunday.
Oh, do you have a pick for that?
I like Alabama. I think this is Saban. Saban is your Belichick. That's it. Like he just wins these kind of games. But I would rather have a Connor Cook type quarterback for Alabama to feast on because Clemson guy Watson moves a lot, but Bama pulls it out.
Congratulations to Nick Saban for being the checkers champion of the world again.
Checkers.
Yeah, he's in college playing checkers.
Oh, wow.
Just recruiting guys. He's getting cherry picking the best athletes every year. He's kicking ass.
Trying to pull him into the NFL. You're
Look, he tried to play chess in the NFL and he got his ass kicked, and now he's playing checkers in college again.
I like it.
It's good. 9 to 5. He's working a 9 to 5 schedule every day. Maybe a couple recruiting trips. Doesn't have the balls to come back. I don't know. I'm just trying.
Calling out Nick Saban.
I'm trying to get a sports blog poster. Simmons, Saban has no balls, plays checkers.
We go years. Oh, we have to have you guys.
No,
play
but if you're a
checkers.
great coach, you should be in the NFL.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
They're just not built. I don't know. Some guys just aren't built for it.
I think college hoops, college football.
Yeah.
College hoops, it's like, here's my system, and I'm just going to recruit new guys every year and shove them into my system. You're not coaching.
He's not going to make much more or even more money, though.
It's great. Hey, listen, 35-hour work week, it's great. It's a great job. You should keep doing it.
All right.
Recruit some more dudes in
all these
Alabama.
years. I had no idea this was your hot take on it.
It's not even a hot take. It's checkers.
You feel the same about college basketball?
Yes,
You do?
I do.
Really?
Especially now that it's the one and done era.
Yeah.
Just go out and get guys for a year, throw them in a system. These guys have no idea how to, like Calipari. I just want to say, all due respect to John Calipari and all he's achieved, paying him $12 million a year to coach in the NBA, which is what Wojnarowski reported that's what he wanted, that'd be insane. We have no idea if this guy would be a good NBA coach. He has none of the characteristics that make for a good NBA coach. He's panicky. He's like, you watch him in these big games, he gets like really loud, tight. He wants to be the center of attention. That stuff doesn't work in the NBA.
Well, that's why I don't think it's necessarily a good or smart transition. You have guys who lose 3 games in 5 years, and
in
now
football or basketball?
both. And then after a month, they have 4 losses. Like
I think it's a shame that Saban's not going to try NFL again, because I think his Miami situation really came down to not having a quarterback. And we say this every single year. You need a quarterback. There's 8 quarterbacks who win the Super Bowl every year.
Right.
You're not winning it with Kirk Cousins. You're winning it with Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or Cam Newton or Tom Brady. If you don't have those guys, you're not winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he had a bunch of crappy guys.
Yeah.
And it all came down to him not getting Drew Brees. If they just signed Drew Brees, he'd still be in the NFL. He'd be in like year 9 in Miami.
Yeah, but the average grade college coach is going to be about 50, 55 years old before he's established as a great college coach. So you're going to spend the next 4 years rebuilding. It's just not in their psyche, I don't think.
Nick Saban's like, I got less miles this week.
Yeah.
I might have to work till 5:30 instead of 5 on Monday.
And there's also, though, that hatred. Like, you give that up right away. He probably hates like 6 coaches, just wants to go at their throats.
That's true. Listen, it's an easier life. Congratulations to him. Speaking of easy, it's 2016. It's a new year. I think it's finally time to get organized with LegalZoom, the leader in helping small business owners and families with their legal needs. You might have a family. You might have assets. You might have property. You might have all 3, so why not have an estate plan, Sal? Do you have an estate plan?
Let's do it. I don't yet. No. I don't have a website.
Do you have a will?
I don't have underwear. I don't have anything.
Do you have a will?
No, everybody knows where it goes.
Oh my God, you have to have a will.
You and Neil
That's
Everett.
terrible. It's me and Neil Everett. Thank
that's
you.
it. You got everything.
Well, LegalZoom's estate plan bundles eliminate the guesswork. Instead of figuring out on your own whether a will or a living trust works best for you. And you've figured out that it didn't, which is a mistake. You should have a will. You can work with an independent attorney available in most states. They'll walk you through your options. They'll recommend an estate plan that offers the best solution to fit your needs. Who are you gonna leave all your cowboy stuff to?
Can I just say,
like your buddy Darren?
A will is weird. Maybe Darren.
A will's, you're afraid of a will because it's an admission that you might die someday.
Well, it's more that on any given Monday, my net worth varies
vacillates
widely.
Yeah, I see that. Well,
okay.
at LegalZoom, everything's on your schedule and terms. Plus, you know what your estate plan bundle costs up front instead of worrying about hourly rates. My apologies. Don't let legal hurdles become an excuse. Go to LegalZoom.com today. Get your life organized with an estate plan bundle. Don't forget to enter BS in the referral box at checkout. LegalZoom.com, promo code BS. I did a will.
You did?
A couple years ago.
Really?
And yeah, I left you an uncut sheet from the mid-70s.
Oh, really? Nice.
I didn't really, but I'm going to add
do
that.
Leave me something.
I'm going to add that.
You got a lot of stuff around here.
Yeah, I got a lot. What am I going to do with all this stuff? That's the thing. You hit your mid-40s. You're like, why did I collect all this stuff?
Yeah.
Note to the people in their 20s and 30s: don't collect stuff.
Right.
It just goes in your garage.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, you have like 10, 12 frames, 10 awesome things. You might have an office you get to decorate.
That's it. Just leave me Tate. I'll be happy. That's it.
Tate's in the will. Sunday games.
It's 1:05 p.m. Seattle at Carolina. Is this the game of the week? They're all pretty good.
Poor Seattle's getting brutalized with these morning games that aren't on West Coast time.
Right.
They're trying to beat every theory that we've ever had about West Coast to East Coast, cold weather, week after cold weather. Hold on, I can't remember. Oh, I picked Carolina by 4. Would you have? You had the same?
I had them by 4. And you, just like you said, West Coast to East Coast, cold weather, brutal, tough game against a 15-1 team. Really, Seattle couldn't have looked worse in a win. And they're only getting 3 points.
Wow.
Yeah.
Last 4 meetings. Thanks to Peter King for this.
Very close. Yep.
Seattle by 4 in 2012. Seattle by 5 in 2013. Seattle by 4 in 2014. Carolina by 4 this season. And when they won this season over Seattle, it did feel like the
Seattle was
bully getting upended by the little brother. The little brother finally beating the big brother in the backyard and something. One of those kind of things. I don't know if that translates.
We still didn't think Carolina was good. Apparently nobody still thinks Carolina's that good. But in week 6, we weren't convinced with Carolina. They were down 9 in that game in the fourth quarter, and they won 27-23.
I really like Carolina in this game, and yet going against Russell Wilson is scary. It's just scary because he has those plays like the one he pulled out of his butt in the game yesterday, where it's like he fumbles the snap, he's about to just fall on it, looks up for a second, realizes he's not going to get sacked, and gets up and creates a 48-yard play. Like as you said, nobody can do that.
Yeah.
So he's going to have 2 of those moments. It sucks to go against him.
Let me ask you this: Tom Brady gets hurt. So I don't know what happens. He falls down the steps.
Why are we talking about this?
Well, I want to say
I don't want Tom Brady to be hurt.
All right, forget that part. But Roger Goodell says, I feel I haven't been fair to the Patriots. I'm going to give me the Russell Wilson or Cam Newton for this game against the Chiefs. Simmons, you decide. Who do you want?
With the offense that we have, I'd want Cam Newton.
Yeah.
I think Cam Newton's the best quarterback in the league right now. Yeah, I do. I do.
He's the MVP. I mean, it's hard to argue, but
I just think he did the most with the least. Like Ted Ginn, Deion had that great quote this weekend about Ted Ginn's having a great year, but I still wouldn't drop my baby out of a burning building to him, which sums up the Ted Ginn experience to a T.
Who said that? Deion
Sanders, a good linebacker.
He's very quotable this weekend. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he really was.
Wow.
But I like the matchup for Carolina. Like Seattle's really had trouble covering these tight ends all season, and Carolina's tight end is the second best one in the league, and they can run, and Cam can extend plays.
I just think, Norman's great, but
great defense.
You're going to see that deep ball, Wilson. He's going to connect. Not unlike
unless it's cold again. It's going to be cold again.
I guess, is that I didn't even.
So you like Seattle? It sounds like.
I don't know. I hate that line. That's a terrible line. -3.
I need to think about it some more.
All right. Pittsburgh at Denver, 4:40 p.m. Sunday.
Nantz and Sims, I'm hoping, right?
That's got to be.
Nantz is like whatever like Viagra and Cialis, all that stuff does.
Yeah.
Nantz gets that naturally from a Peyton Manning game.
He does?
At this stage of his career. Yeah. It doesn't. It's almost like you're just dousing him in Viagra.
Nantz has that all shipped to Manning's wife and then comes and picks it up. We both said 3 here.
And Jim, what an audible by Peyton Manning right there. Jim, maybe he doesn't have the arm strength, but it's the know-how.
Listen to you.
I can't wait. Oh, God, it's going to be great. Jim, that's the best 8-yard pass I've ever seen. Thank God for Peyton Manning. Oh, it's going to be unbelievable. Let's never talk about any controversy with him at all.
You have no voice.
I don't.
You're fighting through this.
Maybe Jim Nantz might not even do this game.
No, of course.
He might. Remember, it might have been a Randall Tex Cobb, Howard Cosell moment.
Right, that might be it. That's it for him. I'm doing golf.
Guys, just golf.
Jordan Spieth
Tennis,
is 30 under. I'm going
and some
back.
selected women's college basketball. That's all I can handle emotionally. I don't want any violence.
You're going to be shocked by this line. We both said 3.
Obviously, I had Broncos by 3.
As did I. And it's Broncos by 7.
Because of Roethlisberger's hurt.
But everyone's going to forget about that by Friday-ish, right? And they're like, oh, my God, I can get Pittsburgh plus 7 against a Peyton Manning. I don't even know which one's going to show up. Definitely not the one from 2006.
I think people need to really remember how bad he was in the first 2 months of the season and how lucky that team's been. I had, I keep track of those straight wins, straight losses, and then either or games, and they only had 4 legitimate wins the whole year.
Denver.
They are the luckiest team in a while.
Wow.
Just break after break after break in games. Like Gronkowski gets hurt in that Patriot game. Just over and over again. And then now it's round 2. For some reason, the Pats throw away the last 2 weeks of the season, give Denver the 1 seed. And now they get the Steelers with Roethlisberger, who has a separated right shoulder, which is a problem since he throws with his right arm.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, that is bad.
the catch is that he's Ben Roethlisberger, and he's almost like Frankenstein. Like, it just seems like whatever happens to him, you always feel like he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
He's like out of the 1960s.
I know. It's outrageous. He just comes up.
He's like indestructible.
34-27, Pittsburgh beat them. That was a late afternoon, December 20th. Denver had a big lead. That was Osweiler's team.
It's a good matchup for Pittsburgh if he's healthy.
I like all 4 games. I'm excited.
What do they have? I think Barnwell said Pittsburgh has the 5th ranked run defense.
Right. I think that sounds
And
right.
Denver's going to have to, do the ball control, running, play action, all that thing. But I don't know if they're going to be able to run the ball in Pittsburgh.
Right.
You can throw the ball on
It
them.
might be the other way around, too. One of these guys fumbles, right? Toussaint, Todman, something stupid happens.
Well, that's the thing. So Pittsburgh, man, I thought Cincy's D. I was really surprised. It seemed like they wanted Pittsburgh to run the ball, but I was surprised they couldn't stop it.
Right. There's a lot of yardage there.
So it sounds like you're leaning toward, and you're red high, 14-4 in your best bets. Sounds like you're leaning a little bit toward the Seahawks and the Steelers.
I'm surprised that, looking at these 4 lines, I'm surprised the Chiefs Patriots are as low as they are. I'm surprised the Broncos, and I'm surprised that Carolina's as low as they are. That's it. Those are the 2 biggest.
I ran into Bob Kraft at the HBO Golden Globes party last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's feeling good about everybody
Is this true?
back. I really did.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I took a picture. I'll put it on social media.
Yeah, put it up there. Were you wearing your MeUndies?
I wasn't. I was wearing a suit. But no, we were just talking about just how miserable it was to be a Patriots fan for I don't know, 40 years.
Right.
First 35 years of my life or whatever, we just sucked.
Yeah.
It was really like being a Jets fan. Like the Jets fans and Pats fans were kindred spirits. And then it just flipped.
Would there be? I don't think it works out this way, just the way some teams can't do it. But it would have been nice for HBO. They've done a lot for you. Convince Kraft to do Hard Knocks next year.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Wouldn't that be great?
They would never do
Belichick
that.
wouldn't allow
Oh
nothing.
my God!
Yeah,
he'd never allow. Belichick's interesting though. He does like being documented. The NFL Films has gotten some
More
really
and
good
more.
behind the scenes stuff with him.
Yeah.
The coach's life thing that they did with him was excellent a couple years
I saw
ago.
that, yeah.
And the thing they did this year. What's funny is McDaniel should be one of the candidates for all of these jobs, right? Not even.
Not going to happen.
I think
Some silent
they
agreement.
have some deal. I think it's just like, when I retire, this is all yours.
Really?
And McDaniels is smart, and he's only like 40.
No, I would definitely trust anything he says, Belichick. If I'm McDaniels,
That felt like a dig.
It's good that he's turned down all these jobs on the word.
How you feeling about our boy at the Browns? Going super analytical. Hired the Dodgers
Yeah,
metrics guy.
Mets.
They're going all metrics.
Mets metric guy.
Mets
Yeah.
metric guy.
Yeah, I know. My worlds are colliding here.
Very
Listen, they're
metrics.
the laughing stock anyway, right? And now they just have to.
Why not get super smart?
Yeah, and they have to hire a coach that goes along with this stuff. But
I'm still frustrated. My boy Lombardi, who did a really good job in the year he was there, just by trading Trent Richardson and getting a
Right.
pick for him. And, he brought in Hoyer, and Hoyer blew out his knee. That wasn't his fault, but Hoyer was a starting quarterback. And they're set up for that draft. They have the 4th pick and a second first rounder.
Yeah.
They have the 4th pick in a draft that has on the board Sammy Watkins, Khalil Mack,
Right.
Odell Beckham, and Aaron Donald.
and
Those are 4 of the next 8 picks.
and Josh Gordon is
Josh Gordon's
not
out.
gonna be- he's
Like
not
the
gonna be
easy one is to take Watkins.
Right.
Even if you make the deal that they made with Buffalo to get another pick and move down to 9,
yeah.
you take Aaron Donald or you take Odell.
I'm with you.
That's one of the greatest
I'm
trades
with
of
you.
all
Would they
time.
take the cornerback Gilbert, right?
Just what a shame. I think Lombardi should be considered. The guy's done a good job for the Pats too. He's found a lot of dudes.
I love Lombardi. I love him, but I don't blame the Manziel pick. At the time, everybody, not even just fans, all the GMs were like, "Yeah, that's a good spot, good grab for the Browns." There,
I love Manziel.
yeah,
Who knew that he was a child actor? Basically,
yeah.
it's like a child actor. It's like if Corey Feldman was the quarterback, it'd be Johnny
He's
Manziel.
literally a child. He's wearing disguises and stuff. He's dressing up, everything.
I like that. Who hasn't worn a disguise
I
in
know.
Vegas? What do you got to plug, Sal, other than your Red Hot Sports
That's
Center
it.
picks?
Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight. Ice Cube and Joanne Frogat from Downtown Abbey. I know I read that wrong. City and Color Music. And later in the week, David Duchovny, Gillian Anderson, Chloe Grace Moretz, Josh Holloway, Leslie Mann, and Ariana Grande. Catch me at Twitter at @TheCousinSal. And Thursday night, Friday a.m., Sports Center. 3-0 last week, 5-1 the last 2 weeks, 14-4 with my best bets. Great week for Italian Americans. Me with my best bets, Mike Piazza, Sly Stallone. So there we go.
Mike Piazza?
Yeah, he made the Hall of Fame. You ever hear of him? Don't
Yeah,
say anything bad.
no.
Come on, don't say anything. And Mike Lombardi. Throw him in there. You did it.
Tell your Revenant story now, and then we'll go.
Well, maybe
So you
maybe I
just-
should. Okay, yeah. The
Well,
Revenant
actually, let me
story.
thanks LegalZoom.com,
Yeah.
the leader in helping small business owners and families with their legal needs. LegalZoom's estate plan bundles will help you figure out whether a will or a living trust works best for you. Just check it out, Sal. Get those costs up front instead of worrying about hourly rates. Go to LegalZoom.com today to get your life organized. Don't forget to enter BS in the referral box at checkout. LegalZoom.com, promo code BS. Thanks to HBO. You don't need cable or satellite to watch HBO anymore. Just download the HBO Now app. Start your free 1-month trial today. Mad Max, the new Mad Max, streaming now on HBO Now. Thanks to MeUndies. Go to MeUndies.com/BS. Get 20% off your first order. Thanks to SeatGeek, the presenting sponsor of the BS Pod and Channel 33. Check out Channel 33, by the way. Some good stuff. I have a Bachelor podcast I did with Juliet. I might come back on this week.
Oh, nice.
If you want to hear my Bachelor thoughts, I have a lot of
good.
Bachelor thoughts. All right, here's your Revenant story.
Well, and Corolla's like we often miss plays in games and end of games or beginning of the next game because we're like TiVo has hurt the commercial. You're supposed to zoom through the commercials.
Yeah.
He now stops it and analyzes it and
Analyzes the commercials or the game?
The commercials in painstaking fashion. There's a McDonald's commercial with the one woman eating a breakfast sandwich in the car, a motherly type, and then a rebel type, similar looking woman, redhead, pulls up on a motorcycle, and she's like beat out by the woman, the motherly type. And it's like, who's the rebel now? And he claims it was the same woman or it wasn't the same. Anyway, for 4 hours, we have to discuss if it's the same woman until I get our casting department. I said, I can't deal with this anymore. We have to settle it this week. It ends up being 2 different women. He moves on to The Revenant. There's a scene where DiCaprio is dying. They have to decide if they're going to bring him across wherever, thousands of miles. The bad guy, the clear villain in there, looks at DiCaprio and says, if you blink, DiCaprio's not able to speak. If you blink, I will kill you. I'll understand that you want me to kill you for the good of our mission here, you know?
Yeah.
And which is a trick. Of course, you're going to eventually blink.
Right. You have to blink.
Right. And DiCaprio tries hard. How do you remember the rest of this scene going?
I remember him trying hard not to blink.
Right.
But then he blinks because human beings have to blink.
That's exactly how I remember it. Adam says that he didn't even acknowledge that he tried not to blink, but he says he purposely blinks hard, like to say, okay, you're right. This is going to be too hard to carry me the rest of the way. You could kill me.
I think he blinked because I think he knew Tom Hardy was going to kill him.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's no way I can just sit here and not blink for the rest of my life.
You have to
So
blink.
when he blinked, he's like, this guy's going to kill me.
Yeah.
Like I'm screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You blink because you had to blink. There's just no way not to blink.
And once he blinked, he knew he was dead. So he's like, I blinked. I'm dead.
That's what I said. But he tried not to, right?
Tried not to.
Tried
hard not to.
Tried really hard.
Spilled the orange soda on his fantasy football trophy.
All right.
Bumped
So
the kid.
3 hours later, we're like, listen, we get sent these screeners. We also get sent the scripts. And you can kind of look online for the scripts too. We'll figure out if he tried to blink. Carolla's right. The two men stare at each other. We could see Glass's mind racing. After a tense moment, Glass slowly and deliberately blinks. So we're never going to hear the end of this.
So Corolla was right?
He was right.
Oh,
He deliberately
God.
blinked.
Oh, no.
I know.
Oh, there's nothing worse than when Corolla's right.
What are we going to do? You have to come this Sunday and help me out.
Every time you try to get me to come,
Yeah.
you preface it with some 10-minute story about how horrible it is to be there
Oh, you
because
love
Corolla
this.
stopped in the commercials. I do love
You
it.
love it. Come on. It'll
I'm
be
definitely
fun.
not coming Saturday. I can tell you that
No,
much.
Sunday. I'm going to get you to come Sunday for sure.
I'm
Hench
out-
is there. Everybody talks about how they hate their wives. It's great.
I'm out for
Not
this.
Hench.
I'm out for the Super Bowl.
You're going to the game?
No, I'm not going.
Oh, you're out. Oh, you're not going to the game. You know for sure. Why?
Soccer.
Oh, stop.
It worked last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Who is scheduling soccer tournaments in February 6th or whatever?
You know who doesn't care about American football, our number one sport?
Yeah.
People who play in soccer tournaments.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it
They
like
don't care.
German soccer? Like, how dare you call it football? I'll show you. You're not going to
it's
watch
like
any
that.
football
It's a
today.
state cup, though. It's important.
All right.
The Cuz, as always, good job by you.
Good job by you.
We about this bitch. Anytime y'all want to see me again, rewind this track right here, close your eyes, and picture me rolling.